Hi there, welcome to my ICT Hub, where we make ICT concepts easier. This is John, your ICT tutor, and today we'll be looking at Spreadsheet. We'll be focusing on the IGCSE ICT paper, October-November 2024, paper 3, where we'll be treating Spreadsheet. Okay, so if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive in. And here is the question, IGCSE ICT, that's 2024, October-November, paper 3. So we have Spreadsheet and website authoring on this paper. This video is going to be covering Spreadsheet. And when we are done, I'm going to make another video where you will be seeing the website authoring. So if you're ready, let's go in. To start with, says, you have been supplied with the following source files. There we have them. That's about 6 source files. We have .css, hits, we have HTML, logo, web.css, and then we have web.htm. Now task 1 says, create a new word process document. Okay, now make sure your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of the document. This is the evidence document, which I believe we should be familiar with by now. I'm using Office 2021 version. All right, so let's create a new document there. Okay, so we have that and the header. We right click, click to the right. John, we have NG1230001. Okay, now that's there. Now save the document in your work area as this, followed by your center number and candidate number. Alright, that's the example there. So let's go in to save that document. You go to Save As and then you save it. I'm very familiar with shortcuts. I like to use my shortcuts. Okay, so let's get up on that. Alright, so we want to save it in there, followed by center number and candidate number. Yeah, alright, and that is done. Okay, saved. Okay, let's close this document one. Now it says you will use this as your evidence document during the examination. Okay, good, noted. Now task 2 is a spreadsheet, which we are actually going to be focusing on today. It says you work for Chawara web developers and will edit a spreadsheet that analyzes data on web page hits and advertising. Now let's start out. It says open and examine the file into for hits.csv. Alright, let's go to where the source files are kept. Alright, and we have hits here. Let's open up that file. Okay, here we have the file here. Maximize that. Let's close this. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at it. We have a number of details on it. Alright, let's see what we need to do. Let's go back to the question. Now it says rows 9 to 38 shows the number of hits on that's visits, all right, visits to each web page during a 24-hour period. The number of hits for each are stored in columns F to AC, which we are going to see that. That's from column F. Here we have, okay, we have a duration down to AC. Okay, that's it. Let's continue the question. It says, place your name, center number, and candidate number on the left in the header. Okay, let's do that. Then we come back to this. Let's go full change our view. Go to your page layout view. Here we said on the left, your name, center number, and candidate number. Alright, then let's check what's next. It says place the text created on, that's it, followed by space, then automated date on the right in the header. Okay, so we come to the header here. I'm going to paste that, followed by space, then name, and then followed by date. There we have the current date. Yes, let's confirm that. Yes, space followed by the automated date. Okay, sorry, the name was not included. I shouldn't be including this. Okay, all right, just one space there, and then we have the dates. Was it the date I clicked on? Oh, I think I clicked on the time. Sorry. Let me take away that. It should be the date, not the time. Okay, we have the date, current date. Yes, so that's it. We've gotten that. It says save the spreadsheet. Save this as a spreadsheet with the file name hits followed by your center number and candidate number. Okay, so we have hits underscore that sample. I want to close my click on the contents, then go back to my normal, and let's go to file, save as, and browse. The same location, we'll be saving this as hits underscore. All right, now we are going to be saving it as a spreadsheet document, not a CSV, and we'll save that. Okay. All right, now having done that, let's move on. It says format all data in rows 9 to 38 to be center aligned. All data in rows 9 to 38 to be center aligned. So let's quickly go there. We have the rows are the ones to the left, while the columns are the alphabets. So let's just highlight from here 9 to 38. Okay, there we are, 38. Okay, center aligned. You want to go home and you want to click on the center alignment there. Yes, everything center aligned. Let's go back to the question. And format rows 1 to 8 of the spreadsheet. So it looks like this. Okay, here we are. Before we move, let's take a close look at it. We have this row is merged. The lines are right. The grid lines are not visible. That's why you have broken lines. Here we have an alignment to the right for this. Same here, right? Here is center aligned. Here is right aligned. Okay, take notes. This is also merged. This is center aligned. Then we also have center aligned here, and we also have the text wrapped. Okay, so let's go in and let's try and get that done. So we start from row 1. It's going to be merged from A down to F. So we have that merged. Where do we merge that? This is okay. So you can see we have merge and center. Then the font size is also much bigger. Okay, let's see if a size was given. Merge A1 to F1, D3. Here merged. And okay, so font size. Make sure the text in rows 1 is a 24 points. Okay, I insert it. So let's follow that 24 points. Okay, and we need to take a look at this. A is wider. Yes, 24 points. Then we have here a line to the right. Okay, now the first row there, cell there is bold. Once again, we want to come here. This is merged. Merge and center, and it's bold. Come here, this is bold and align to the center. Take note, they always check for the alignments. It's one of the things that they check out when grading. Take note of your alignments, your size, the size of your columns and the rows. This is center, this is aligned to the left, so we want to make this the center. Okay, aligned to the left, and it's in dollar. Okay. So we have it in dollars and in how many decimal place? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take a close look at this. Let me go closer. All right, so all we want to do is to make it in dollars. So we change that to currency. Okay, but now it's changing it to. So we want to go back for decimal place. And we don't want to use though. We want to use the dollar. Just speaking in dollars. Okay, so we are back. I think that looks like what it is there. Exactly. Now for this row, that is row 8. Let's zoom back. And that row, we want it to be wrapped. The text is going to be wrapped. So we are using the text wrap tool. Can you see the wrap text tool? All right, that is wrapped. Then it's aligned to the center. Also to the center vertically. Then it's bold. Then let's take a look at the sizes for the first one. It's in the width. Still have a little space here, so we want to make this a little bit bigger. All right, yes, looks like that. Here we have this wrapped 2. Here we have this wrapped in 2 lines. Okay, yes, here we have wrapped in 2 lines. Travel, okay, and this in 2 lines. So we want to move this in 2 lines. here. I guess the rest would align. Okay, so that is done. If you take a look at it, yes, I think that looks like what we have. Do we have lines? We don't have any grid lines because they're all showing broken lines, so we are not turning on grid lines for this. All right, that has been formatted just the way it should look like. So I think this is good enough. Let's continue the question. It says place a replicate formula in cell B9 to calculate the number of hits for the web page, that's 40173, during the 24-hour period. So we're going to go to B9. Here we have B for the column and we have 9 for the row, which intersects here. So we say we have to place in that cell replicate formula using, replicate formula to calculate the number of hits on that web page during the 24-hour period. So basically what we want to do is we want to count the number of hits that we have here. Yes. Okay, so let's see. It's going to be a count. Since each hit is per hour we have, so we are not counting. We're actually going to be summing it. So we want to look at what we have here. This is a range from, that's AC from F. So let's just write that expression. It's going to be equals to, if you want to use the formula for sum, you might want to go through the formula. On the other hand, I could go through formula and let's just take the summation. I want to use sum. Okay, so it's going to be asking for the range. Now I'm not using A9, I'm using F9 colon AC9. Okay, so now we can see the selected row. Yes, down to that. So we are finding the sum, that's the total number of hits, and that is there. All right, we go to the next question, which says, place a replicate formula in cell C9. Now this time we are going to the next column, that's C9, to calculate the average number of hits per hour for this web page. Okay, now it's still a similar thing. Average of the hits, we calculated the total, it's just the average, so you might want to just still go down there. We have average, and instead of this, we'll be typing A, that's from F9 down to AC9. Okay, for the average, yes, we have that. Let's see, are we giving any decimal place power for this web page? Okay, decimal place was not specified. Average hits per hour for this web page. Okay, we have the average hits there. Then we go to the next. It says place in a replicable formula in cell D9. Okay, using nested if function. Take notes. By using a nested if function to display the text from cells D4, D5, or D6. Let's take a look at that. We have D4, D5, and D6. Okay, when the content of cell C9 is greater than the traffic threshold. Okay, here we have the traffic threshold. That means anything between 0 to 249 or below 250 should be low. Between 250 and below 400 should be medium, and 400 and above should be high. Okay, so that means we have 3 conditions depending on C9. So we're going to be writing a nested if expression. To write the if statement, let me just quickly do a brief explanation. The if statement says, the syntax goes something like, I'll make this a little bigger so you can see. It says if, in a function you open the argument with, you open the brackets, then we have the arguments, that is the condition, the argument, or whatever you want to place, or the logical statement. Let me just go with the logical statement. Okay, logical test, comma, then followed by what should be done when it is true. Then what should be done when it is false. And this is how the syntax for the if statement looks like. But if you want to write a nested if situation, it's going to be if your first logical test, what should be done when it is true. Then in place of the false, another if statement will begin. Something like, instead of false being a nested if, another condition will begin if we have the logical statement 2. Then what should be done when it is true, and then possibly when it is false. Now take note, you have opened 2 brackets now, so you have to be closing the two brackets. And if you want more logical statements, just to keep inserting your if statement in the place of the false continuously that way, and you keep inserting that, so you can write as many number of nested if statements with that. So if we do understand that, now let's go back and take a look at what we need to do. Now to write the if statement with this C9, I'm going to start with equals to if, open my syntax, I'm taking C9. And if C9, the first condition says it should be less than 250. So we have C9 is less than 250, or instead of 250, I'm going to use the cell itself. If it is less than whatever is in this cell, right, then it should display what is here, comma, then I start another if statement again, if, and if the same C9 again now is less than the cell, okay, what should be done? It should display medium, and then if not, I'm going to start another if statement. If C9 again is, this time it's not less than anymore, if it's 400 or greater, so we're going to see if it is greater than or equals to the same cell, then what should be done? It should display this. Now this is the condition, and since it goes above 400, that other limit is endless, so we don't have to write anything about the false. So you can, how many brackets have I opened? I've opened 1, 2, 3 parentheses, so I'm closing 1, 2, 3. And that if statement goes in that way, very simple. If the C9, that is C9, is less than 250. So anything less than 250 down to 0 will give low. Now, it will not proceed to this next condition if this is not satisfied. So if anything is higher than 250, it's only when it's higher than 250 that you're going to skip this first test and go to check the next condition. So if you have something higher than 250, it skips this, goes this. Now it checks here because it's higher than 250, but it's going to be less than 400. So if it's less than 400, it carries out this. If not, it's only when it is greater than, equals to or greater than 400, then it comes to the last test, which will take care of that. So once you are done, I hit my, and you can see, right now we have this, which is greater than 400, giving us the high. Okay, let's go back to the question, if we understand that. All right, if you have any question, feel free to just drop it in the comments and I could explain it, or you could read up from the text. Now the next thing says, place a replicable formula in cell E9 to look up the rate for this traffic level and multiply it by the total number of hits for this web page. Okay, we want to look up the rate. Okay, we want to look up the rate for this traffic level. So let's go back to the, here we want to look up the rate. If you look at here, we have the rates for this traffic level using C9. Sorry, it says not C9. The condition says in cell E9, depending on what is in E9. Sorry. So we're going to use the test for here and then determine which rate should be displayed here. So first we're going to write the VLOOKUP, the lookup statements, before we multiply by the next thing, which I was going back to this, okay? Before we multiply by the total number of hits for this web page, and the total number of hits is this cell. So all right, how we're going to, this lookup, obviously, if you're going to check, you're going to be picking our lookup value is D9. Now, when we come to this part, how are we comparing the lookup value? We are comparing it vertically. It's coming down vertically. We are checking it vertically here at the source or where we have the array. So if it's vertical comparison, then it's a VLOOKUP we're going to be making use of. Okay, and we are returning the third column, which is column 1, 2, and 3, which will be our column index number. So let's go in and locate the VLOOKUP. Okay, I have my VLOOKUP here. I could just click OK. Now the lookup value, like I said, from the question is E9. We are using what is in the cell as our lookup value. Then we want to look up our array is this table. Please take note you don't highlight the title, just only the content. And that's the array. All right. Then because it's in the same worksheet, there's very likelihood that this array, when we are replicating it using a few handle down, it being a relative referencing, it's going to change. So in a way to be sure that this does not change, this array remains static, you have to make this static. That is adding the $sign. Now let me zoom in so you can see what I want to do. If I zoom in on that, Okay, I think this is too much. Okay, so I'm going to place my cursor in between this, and I'm going to use my F4. The shortcut, the F4 key will give you that, right? Just place again your cursor in between this and use the F4. It's going to do that quickly, or you could just type in the $ before the column index and the row index number, and that will give you that. So now let me take away the zoom. I haven't seen that. The next thing now is the column index number. Like I explained, which row or which column do we want to return the value? We are returning the rate, right? So it's column 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 columns there, so we are returning column 3. So I have 3 there. And lastly, we are going to be using, here we have, it's either you're using true or false, or 1 or 0. 1 stands for true, 0 for false. So if you use false, is when you want an exact match when checking the lookup value in the array. If you want an exact match before you return the value you are requesting for them, we go with 0, which oftentimes in this examination is usually 0. But for the case of 1 is when you want something similar, anything that looks close to it. So, but that is not usually an accurate thing in real life situation. You always want something very accurate, else you could go with 1. But for here we go with 0 or false, and look at it, it has returned the value. Okay, here we have the value, but that's not all. If you remember, we said, the statement continues to say multiply it by the total of hits for this web page. So having written that, you want to go there, you want to complete this expression, just write your asterisk, that's multiplied by, this is where we have our total hits. Just click on that and it picks that, and then we can complete that. Okay, so having done that, okay, let's just confirm. All right, yes, that question is correct. So that's all for that page. Then let's move on to the next question. It says replicates the formula entered in steps 3 to 6 for all the web pages. Okay, so we just want to highlight this down this way, and we want to replicate it down that way. Now take note, if you had not made the reference from the table absolute like what I did, you would have experienced something. There will have been a lot of hashtags here if you didn't make the VLOOKUP static, that is adding the $ to ensure that when it is replicating the formula down, the relative referencing does not affect it. But in this situation, we've made it absolute, you adding those $, so when you are using the fill handle to drag it down, it's going to apply it and it's going to keep that fixed. Like what I mean, if you take a look at this, sorry, let me just click on this, double click, you can see the VLOOKUP picks here. If we come down and double click somewhere here, you can see. Now this is relative, so this cell is picked up here, but for this we have kept this absolute. So this particular table does not change, but the other things that doesn't have the $, which is the relative referencing, keeps moving relative to the selection of where that particular cell, where the equation is placed. So we want to, so please just take note of that. Know when to make use of your absolute referencing when using the referencing or referencing a particular cell in the spreadsheet program. Okay, now we've done that, let's continue. Format the cell E9 to E38 as currency in dollars, okay, to 2 decimal places. Okay, that's E, here we have E9 to E38, down here we want to format that, so we go back to our home menu, click on this, then we go to currency. Here we have currency. We want the $, just pick a $, here. It says 2 decimal place. Okay, let's confirm that, please. Just confirm that. It says E9K, 2 decimal place, correct? So we go with that, and there we have it in 2 decimal place. So that is done. Let's check, ensure everything is fully visible. Yes, so we have all our cells fully visible. Now let's go to the next question. It says place a replicate formula in cell B4. Okay, where do we have B4 now? Okay, here is B4. Now what is this going to do? To count the number of web pages with high traffic, replicate the formula for medium and low traffic. Okay, now we're going to be writing our count function, but this time there is a condition to this count. It says it should count the number of traffic here we are going to be counting from this column. It says count number of web pages with high traffic. We want to know how many web pages from here is high traffic, but this time it's with a condition. We're not just counting the cells. We want to count those that have this word high there in it. So we are going to be using our count function, but which of the count functions? So let's go to our formulas. Yes, we want to look for counts. Sorry. And we'll be using the count if. The count if function, right? That's the count if is going to be counting based on a particular condition. So we go, all right, what are we counting? The range first. What range are we going to be counting? So we are going to be highlighting the range. Okay, this is the range for this. And what is the criteria? I prefer, instead of typing high, we could just rather pick on this cell, good, which is already relative to this, so I don't need to make it. So whatever is in this cell is what is going to use as criteria to count. And let's take a look at this. Actually, it has counted. So you see a value, I click on OK, and that is being counted. Then it says we should replicate it for medium and low. Now it's going to be easy to just pull this down because actually if you look at it, it's a relative referencing to the side of this particular cell. So if I use the fill handle to drag down, it's going to be picking medium and it's going to be picking low. So let's take a look at that and see. If I drag it down, let's check. Yes, picking low. And let's check, it's picking medium. So you can see, so that count is accurate. So in total, if we total this together, 18, this is 12, this should be giving us 40, all right? And from 8 down to 38 is 40. So I think we are accurate. That's 30, sorry, 30. So that's in line, in order. Okay, so let's move on. I haven't done that. It says save your spreadsheet. Okay, which we have done that. Now print only cells A1 to F38 showing the formula. Make sure that, what are the conditions? Printout is in portrait orientation. The row and column headings are displayed. And lastly, the contents of the cells are fully visible. So you want to show the formula for everything, but specifically it says A1 to F38. So you go to your formulas. You want to show formula. That's the tool there. Show formula. All right, now everything is displayed. Take notes. You are not specified the number of pages that must be visible. So you are at liberty to make sure you can print as many number of pages so long as the range that is requested is all fully visible. Make sure all the contents, your formulas are fully visible. Like here, this is not fully visible. Double click here, double click here to ensure all formulas are fully visible. Okay, here I could just bring this in. Double click, or to just save time, you could just highlight for A to F, sorry. Just want to stop at F there. Okay, double click. All right, now that way we are double sure that everything is fully visible. So let's change our page orientation to portrait. The orientation, portrait. All right, let's see what it's going to look like in the printout. Okay, here it is. You could also go to your view and check your print page break. Okay, we have 1, 2. Okay, it's going to be like 2 pages because this here we have F. All right, so you could either just specify that you want to print out 2 pages, or better still, when you go to your printout, you can highlight to F and highlight down to F38. And when you go to your print, you want to say print selection. Okay, so any of the two, or you specify page 1 to 2, or you print selection. For this, I'm going to print it to PDF so we can see what it look like at the end. The printout. Let's print this and let's save it as the same pad here. Okay, I want to put this here and call it printout 1. Okay. All right, that is done. And once that is done, remember we need to reformat it. So let's go back and turn off our formulas. But before we do that, let's quickly check on it if that file. Okay, exactly. You have your details here. You have the page. You can see the dates created on the web page. All the formulas are fully visible. Good. Check down here. Yes, all formulas are fully visible all the way perfectly. All right, so that is done. We can close that. Let's go back to the question. Sorry. I haven't, oh, sorry, I missed out one thing. I'm going to reprint that. It says the row and column headings are fully visible. Oh, I almost forgot that. So let's just do that again. To do that, before we go to page layouts. Please, that's why it's very, very important that you check your questions to be sure that you've done everything. Now, I turn on the heading here. Let's go to the print. Once again, I just want page 1 and 2. That's another way to go about it. If you go back, not my selection like I did. I want active shades, but I want only page 1 and 2. It's page 2, so let's reprint that. I want to print out 1. Okay. Yes, I want to replace that. Okay, now let's go back and check it again. Print out 1, right? Check with a question. Print out is portrait. Is this portrait? Yes, it's portrait. Now it says row and column headings are displayed. Yes, we have our row and column headings displayed. Contents of these cells are fully visible. Okay, all the contents of the cells are fully visible. All right, so this is appropriately done. Now we could close that and let's continue the question. Now we are back. It says apply conditional formatting so that cells D9 to D38 inclusive to display. What are the conditions? Just before we do that, let's go back and turn off formulas. I want to click, sorry, this formula and turn off this. Now definitely it's going to distort the table a little bit. Let's take a look. Oh, luckily it didn't distort the table so much, except for this part, which I want to. Okay, once we do that, no, that's not all. We need to still extend it a little. Yes, now this is what it looked like. All right, let's take a look at every other part. We're still intact. Yes, traffic level. Let's check from the question. How was traffic level? Traffic level. Okay, you can see. So we need to bring this back. No. All right, yes, traffic level was something like that. And all others, let's check. Okay, we want to expand this a little. Check on this, yes. For the first one, no, this is actually longer than this. All right, that's why if it's possible, I always prefer you print out the values first. But here, you know this, there was no way you had to print out the values, sorry, the formulas first. Okay, now we are done and everything is fully visible. Now let's go back to the question. Okay, we were on question 11. It says apply conditional formatting to cell D9 to D38 inclusive to display what? A green background if the cell contains high, orange background if its cell contains medium, and red background if it contains low. All right, so we're going to be doing a conditional formatting. Let's go back. So this time we are applying it on D9 to D38. So we want to highlight it down. Okay, yes, there at the home menu. Here we have conditional formatting. We want to highlight the cells because we are speaking about highlights. Now we want to set our expressions as self. Let's go to make the rules. Now, what are the rules? Please, if you want me to go closer so you could see this. Oh, okay, wait, it's okay. Let's make it that way so we could see. Now, the first one says, what is the condition? Now, it's going to be displaying if the cells is equals to now what's we want to check for the word high. Once again, I'm going to be using just the cell location. That's this. It's going to be when this word or when it sees whatever is in this cell, it should format it out. So let's check the formatting. We want a fill color of green background. All right, let's check the first one. It says green background if cell contains high. Okay, yes. So that goes for the first one. But we are not done. We still have to add more. We go back again. This time still the same thing. When it is equals to medium this time, what should it give? we want to go to the formats. It should display it as orange background. Okay, orange, something like this. Yes, perfectly, even though you're going to print in black and white, but let's just pick that for orange. Or if you could find the better color, you could go to more colors and pick on your orange exactly. So I use that, I apply that. Okay, now it's worked on medium. And lastly, we want to go for the low. So we go again. Here we have equals to. This time it's going to be equals to low. Okay, now what should it be? It should be displayed as red. Okay, I have my red here. Yep. Okay, and we apply that. Okay, yes, so we can see all three are fully displayed in the different colors. Now let's move on. Make sure that the text in each cell is clearly visible, which we have done that. You can see all the text, even though with the colors are still clearly visible. Well, just to make it more visible, if you want to, maybe I want to change this low, the one with red, to white text, I could still go back and let's look at, sorry, no, not here, because I want to edit this. I want to go to more rules. And for this particular one, I want to edit the text. So we might go to the text, go to the for fonts, give it its font color of white. Okay. And all right, yeah, so that's for the rest. For the green and the orange, I think it's very visible that way. Okay, so what's next to be done? Now, says take a screenshot of your method, making sure that the formatting set and range of cells are clearly visible. Take note, when they give instruction, formatting set and the range of cells are clearly visible. Place your screenshots in the evidence document. So once again, just go back to what I did here, manage the rules. Let's take a look. It's a formatting set. Can I zoom in so you can see? Here we have the values. Okay, this is the set, and we have the rule. The formatting, we have the set applied to. We have it, so you can see high, medium, and this. So this is basically what needs to be seen in that called screenshots. All right, so let me find my sniping tool. Actually, if you're doing this in the exam, I believe you're going to work faster, but because I'm trying to explain this, so I'm taking my time to ensure that we make the concepts easier for you. All right, so I do a screenshot that way. Let's go to our evidence documents. Let me change this font size back to 12 here. All right, evidence. What question is that? Let's quickly take a look at the question. That should be, all right, evidence 11. That's step 11. And I paste that there. Okay, now that's what is needed. Click on OK. All right, we go back to the question. Next question 12 says, change the font color of cell F8 to AC3 to white. Okay, F8 to white, so that the contents of the cells, of these cells, are not visible. Take note from F8. So that means including even the title here. So this is F8. Okay, down to AC38. So I go to F8 down to AC38. Alright, that is selected. So we want to change the font color to white, and that is done. Okay. Now let's go back to the question. Now print only columns A to F inclusive, showing the values. Now make sure that the printout fits on a single page. 1. Printout is in a portrait orientation. 2. Row and column headers are not displayed. And lastly, content of all cells in column A to F, except those cells which the font color is white, are fully visible. So let me start with this so I don't forget that again. The column header, let me go to page layout and turn off the header for the printout there. Okay, now once we've done that, now we are printing from what to what? Printout A to F. Okay, so I want to highlight that and possibly click it down to the end. Now because I can see my page break is already taking out F here, so I want to go and move out that page break. Just click and drag it behind OK. Now it's going to printing out everything. So let's take a look at it in the print preview. Yes, fully visible. All the cells are fully visible. Okay, so we want to do the printout now. So I'm going to be printing the PDF again. This is just page 1. Let me check, did I select it? Okay, yes, I selected it, so I can change this to print selection, and then we're going to be printing out the PDF. I'm going to call that printout 2. Okay, save that. Now let's check it if it is what we want. All right, head, column, row headings, no. All fully visible, yes. In portrait orientation, it's confirmed from the question. Print out on a single page, yes, it's on a single page. Portraits orientation, yes, portraits. Row and column headings are not displayed, yes, and contents are all fully visible, yes. So with this particular column, you can see that we are gonna confirm that you actually turn this to white because it's not visible, but the top here is visible. Okay, so if that is done, I think that's about it. And with that, you are done for the spreadsheet application question for October-November 2024. So once again, ensure you practice. I like to emphasize that. Ensure you practice very well. Once you are able to practice, you build your confidence and your ability to do better. And once you are sure of that, you can go and get the A-star you're looking for in ICT. Wish you the best. So if you like what you have seen, this is a good point where you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so that immediately I release another video, you will be notified about it. Thank you, and see you in the next video where we speak about web authoring.